Good morning, filmmakers. I hope you're feeling filmic today. It's pouring with rain here in the UK, and I'm still waiting for my waterproof camera. Anyway, we're going to discuss the best sort of website for filmmakers today. I've been told by my AI assistant that because I ad-lib all the lessons, I need to make sure that I say in the first line or two what I'm going to talk about, then stick to what I'm going to talk about, and then finish with a lead action, like, visit the website. So I do the end bit all the time naturally, but the rest of it I just ramble on about, whatever hits my brain. And we can't really do that anymore because we're a proper film school now. So I've been told, and I must abide. You don't actually have to abide by a thing that your AI says. Anyway, I've been having this real drama with building a WordPress site. And the reason I wanted a big site, a big fancy site, was because I want cinematic, because I work with 360 at the moment, and widescreen 360, 4K, blah, 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 blah. And I wanted to make, this moving image extravaganza, a feature of the website. So I wanted a kind of heavy website, I suppose, that did everything I needed. So it was a bit like Vimeo, because Vimeo is great, isn't it? I think all filmmakers understand that Vimeo is great, but it's very expensive, I think, personally, especially if, you've got other things going on. So for me, I exhibit paintings, I exhibit installations, I exhibit film, I exhibit 2D, 3D, 4D, whatever that is. I did read about it the other day. Don't worry, we'll talk about that in another show. So anyway, I bought a website and it was cheaper for the year, so I bought a WordPress one. It was about 300 quid. I mean, I can't believe they saw me coming. And it's one of those things, late at night, you're getting frustrated with the websites that you've got. You're sick of YouTube because it's, the complete opposite of class and creativity. It's just marketing trash and, puerile entertainment. And if you're a serious filmmaker, that really goes against the grain. I'm sure we all know that. And I was trying for a while to make really interesting reels and shorts. And I did achieve that, but they were taking me all day to make one reel. And actually, I could have spent a lot longer on them. I could spend a week on 60 seconds because I use a lot of animation. And it's very slow work. It's very laborious, slow work. But, the whole thing with YouTube is you need to upload every day. And if you can upload 5 times, that's even better than if you can upload once. And it really was not working for me as a filmmaker. And I'll tell you why, guys. You spend more time on the fiddly sort of marketing, trying to please the algorithm side of things, than you do creating art. And therein lies the real tragedy of it. I'm very aware that I've been doing that for really all this year. This was my final year of sort of my 5-year business plan, which was all about branding, getting my name out there. And it's impeding on my ability to create what I perceive as my best work, And I don't get time to write my books. I don't get time to write film scripts. A film script, between you and I, is never a film script or a storyboard. It's literally a poem or a few lines of, prose. That's just how I operate, and we've all got our little quirks. I mean, I don't work with anyone else, so for me, that is the plan. If you've got a 20-line poem, that's an amazing way to go about constructing a film. So you take each line, you can even take each word, and then the way I do it is because I use a lot of AI, I use a lot of overlays, Penlink, Procreate, all of these things. So a line, a word, a mood, the whole thing, and it's all weaving in and out. It's about the words, because what I do is multimedia, immersive storytelling. So we've all got our different ways of doing what it is that we do. Anyway, my point being, I'm rambling on again. My point being, I needed this fancy big website, and it was late at night, and I was getting really frustrated with YouTube. And I came upon WordPress, and I was pressed by their advertising to get a website for a year. It was nearly 300 quid. And now I've tried twice to do this website. The first time was they're both the same really, they're just different titles. So I've got 2 exhibitions coming up, right? Online exhibitions. The Gilded Muse, which is a gold leaf exhibition, and which is still image. But I need 3D to look at the sculptures. Do you see what I mean? It's going to be really important that I film these really, really well. I want to embed them into a landscape. I want them to feel as if they're sort of some sort of organic installation out in the wilds. So it kind of links up with this sort of 3D stuff. My AI told me that WordPress would be able to handle all this stuff. Well, it can't. It's so bad at everything. Everything, excuse me, is really chunky, is really glitchy. Absolutely everything is glitching all over the place. WooCommerce is the worst e-commerce facility ever, in my opinion. Nothing worked. Plugins conflicted left, right, and centre. Now, I think WooCommerce is Indian. It's created by, the Indians are really good at creating stuff and telling us that we need it. And then it doesn't bloody work, None of it works, and they've got our money. I mean, that's what the Indians are expert at. They really are very good at it. And you just get to a point where the whole website, because there are conflicting things everywhere, you're not getting a good display in your shop. Their own sort of film hosting facility is rubbish. It doesn't load properly. It rarely loads. Whereas when you use YouTube, it always loads. I mean, occasionally there'll be a millisecond delay or at most a 1 second delay. Very occasionally it may be 2 second delay, but never not loading at all. Your video not loading at all. And that is what was happening. Total nightmare. So what else? I want to sell moving image as a file, a collectible piece of work, artwork, right? And I want to sell film. I've made, over the years, I've made quite a few films. I'd like to sell them. Like a tenner. You get to keep the film, signed copy, blah, 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 whatever. You can do it on OpenSea. It's a slightly different system on OpenSea. On OpenSea, you're selling, because I'm not sure what the maximum film is on there, but certainly short films, you're fine. And you're selling a file. It can be displayed, but it's not, it's different to buying a digital movie. That digital movie is very different. You've actually bought something that's a bit more real than the OpenSea version. I'll talk to you about the difference because I'm not being very eloquent about it at the moment, but I'll talk to you about that another time. But these are, OpenSea is a way to sell moving image. And also having a shop is a way to sell moving image. Now, I've got a Gumroad, and I'm quite excited about my Gumroad because my Gumroad is pretty good for digital products. It seems to be, so far, touch wood, it seems to be doing the job quite well. You can link your product then to your website. But this WordPress that was just incredibly difficult and keeping me up for, I've slept terribly for about 2 weeks trying to get this right. And I just thought, why don't I just get a decent website that can host some videos, a shop site? That's what I really want. Because what I want from my moving image and my film work is to sell it, And And I want to excite people in the way of buying moving image art and having it for themselves and being able to display it on a digital display when they have parties or when they're DJing or, when whatever. Because a moving image piece of artwork, if you imagine you have a digital screen, you can use your TV, or you can get a standalone digital displayer, a display screen which you can put a flash drive in. You can get or projections. I love projecting. I absolutely adore projecting. I think it's such fun. As somebody who's using sort of expressive movement in live film, i.e. projected film, and dancing in front of it or, behind it, even behind a white screen, that would probably show as well. All these really interesting things. I've forgotten what I was going to say there, sorry. But anyway, this whole issue with WordPress has just meant that A, I haven't got any work done. B, it doesn't even show films and this film that I put up was very short. It was under a minute and it just couldn't cope with it on the pages. The template, I went through about 5 templates. There are templates that say this one's really good for film, and then they're just as bad as all the others. They've all got some or other issue or problem with displaying in the way that YouTube does a working product. And I mean, YouTube's horrible, isn't it? Because it's got the overlay with its the arrows, and then at the end of playing your playlist, or you're better doing playlists, actually embed playlists rather than embedding single pieces, because at the end of it YouTube pushes other videos into your web, so you're on your website, and then there's sort of, I don't know, 12, 15 whatever thumbnails of other people's videos, and you just think, oh my god, that just looks awful on my beautiful black and gold sleek site. And now I've got all these trashy, consumerist, low-level creations on my site. And therein lies the sort of biggest problem. But if you do playlists, it kind of works a bit differently. It's going to come up with your work. And if you put that on a loop, hopefully, it avoids quite so much of that in-your-face look at other stuff on YouTube that has nothing to do with you. So my verdict for WordPress, after all that waffling, my verdict for WordPress is it's rubbish. Don't even go there. I'm trying an Equid because I want a sales gallery. And I looked at the reviews, and I can put videos up in the descriptions and standalone on pages. A bit like sort of Bandcamp, really, which is, also a sales channel. But the thing with Bandcamp, you can't link it to your Facebook or your Instagram. So I have just linked Equid to my Instagram. I don't know if it's going to work, but touch wood, guys. Now I'm paying £36 a month, and I just thought, I've spent the last 2 weeks not being able to sleep, and I've wasted probably £2,000 worth of labour time, right? I could have made so much lovely work in that time as well, but I could have slept better. I could have had peace in my life. I could have done my decorating. I could have been out and about doing, loads of fantastic eco photography. I could have been doing all these things. So that £36 a month, I thought, right, it sounds quite a lot, £36 a month, but it's not that much a week, is it? So if you sort of think about it, maybe like that, what is it? Is that £9 a week? I can't work that out. Yes, I think so. And I spend that on coffee. So there we go. Don't go with WordPress. Bloody awful, horrible thing. Just don't go there. That's my advice. Anyway, I'm running out of time, so I've got to plug the shop. So auradigital.art is the new shop. There's nothing in it yet, but that's the new shop, and that is going to feature my moving image gallery as well, and my upcoming exhibition for gold leaf artworks as well. Oh, goodness.